Hello, we are back again. We finished off in chapter 17 where there was an amazing theme there. The author was trying to teach a lesson to Salem about Eddie because she's writing a story about Eddie. And so he's trying to teach a lesson to Salem and in return teaching a lesson to the reader. So I hope that you figured out a theme there and you gained something from that, some wisdom and knowledge. Awesome. About people and how we're supposed to treat them because they are more than just a story on the page, right? People have feelings and emotions and we should see them as such. People with feelings and emotions. They're not just a story to tell, right? So we are now in chapter 18. Let's move forward and let's see how the relationship has changed between Sonny and Eddie. Okay? Chapter 18. I do not know what mine is. This time, T. Charles Brimlow was properly ready for lunch. Yay, it's lunchtime again. He had brought a tablecloth from home and his hand-carved, hand-painted wooden dandelion to serve as a centerpiece. For the sake of easy cleanup, the plates, cups, and utensils were paper and plastic, but they were best quality and coordinated nicely with the tablecloth. He even felt a little proud when Salem entered, looked at the table cover, and pronounced it very nice. As the others came in, he updated his mental files. Eddie Mott, faithful, competent flag raiser, still look like he wants to disappear, except when he's looking at Sonny Weiler. So does he like Sonny or Salem? Still haven't figured that one out, huh? Elizabeth Sonny Weiler, still the sullen face and Death to Mushrooms t-shirt. Problems with Maestro Humseldorf hair. Did she dunk it in molasses? Eee. Dennis Johnson, the pickle boy, as Mrs. Wilbraham calls him, is a patriot. Hasn't missed a morning below reveille. He waited till they had been served before addressing them. First of all, I'm going to give you an official name, the Principal's Posse. Cool, I like that. They seem to approve. Now, school-wise, it looks like we're on our way. We just finished our shakedown cruise. 1 week, and we didn't sink. I think we're going to make it. He turned to Salem. So, do we have a nominee for mascot? Miss Brownmiller briefly glossed over a mention that she had forgotten to convene a meeting. Shifting eyes told Mr. Brimlow this wasn't quite true, and went on to offer her own views on the subject. Whatever we nominate, let's not pick wildcats. That's ours. Or lions, or bears, or dragons. For one thing, they're so common. Everybody has them. And for another thing, they're all, violent and growling. Why does a mascot have to be a flesh-eating carnivore? Why can't it be something more original? She stopped, waited. The principal knew a cue when he heard one. For example, he said, Salem waved her hand. Oh, vegetables. Eddie Mott sprang to life. The Plumstead onions. Everybody laughed, even Sonny Weiler. Oh, Sonny laughed. Suggestions flew. Laughter grew. The Plumstead string beans. The Plumstead cauliflowers. The Plumstead plums. Pancakes? Bran muffins? Buttonholes? Hamsters? Everyone stopped. For the first time in 2 lunches, Sonny Wilder had voluntarily spoken. All eyes swung to her. Mr. Brimlow whispered it. Hamsters? He pronounced it louder, his head tilted, tasting the sound of it. Plumstead hamsters. He looked around the table, his eyes bright. The Plumstead hamsters. I love it, chirped Salem. Shall we vote? Said Mr. Brimlow. Yeah, came several voices. Okay, Posse, all in favor of the 6th grade nominee for school mascot being the hamsters, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Silence. Hamsters it is. Cheers and slaps on the back to Sonny Wilder, whose face had regained its unusual pout. Well, Sonny came up with the nominee, hamsters. That day, Wednesday, was Clean the Hamster House Day. Sonny went to the lobby later than usual. She wanted to be sure no kids were still around to see her do the dirty work. From the main office, where Mr. Brimlow had left them, she got the newspapers, paper bag, rag, and tennis ball can. For today, she really hadn't much to do with the animal. She just dumped some food in and once filled the water bottle. She never really looked at it, except when she reached down to pull the pelt, to put the pelts in the bowl and found the animal looking up at her. She had yanked her arm out, fearing the beast had a mind to scurry up her sleeve, but she kept thinking of those pure black shiny eyes. So big. She had been remembering those eyes when Hamster popped unexpectedly from her mouth at lunch a couple of hours earlier. She took off the screen that served as the cover of the glass tank. She reached in and took out the exercise wheel, food bowl, salt wheel, and water bottle. Now, the animal itself, it had been removed so she could clean the tank. That's what the tennis ball can was for. So said one of the books she had read. She removed the cap from the can and laid the can on the floor of the tank. Sure enough, within seconds, the animal went sniffing into it, exploring this new piece of furniture. Sonny clamped the cap on the can, lifted it out, and set it on the floor. Mr. Brimlow had punched an air hole in the cap. She then proceeded to dump the old wood shavings onto the newspaper, which in turn she folded and stashed in the paper bag. She cleaned the inside of the tank with the rag, dumped in new shavings, replaced the furniture, and finally, holding the open tennis can at a sliding board angle, dumped the animal back home. Suddenly, the beast stood on its hind legs, its paws on the glass walls. Was it going to leap? Quickly, she replaced the screen. In less than 2 minutes, she was on her way home. So, Hillary asked that night, is it a boy or a girl hamster? A boy, said Sonny. How do you know? Some science teacher said. So, who's going to take care of it when you're gone, after you get kicked out? Sonny snapped. I don't know. I don't care. I hate that rodent. Hillary scowled back. Well, don't go hollering at me. I didn't make you take care of the thing. Look at my hair. She grabbed a handful on top of her head and pulled it up straight. When she released it, it stayed up. A thin, greasy, hairy, foot-tall spike. Ooh, gross. Sonny laughed. Yeah, laugh, growled Hillary. My father laughs too. He says it looks like string cheese. Ugh. My sister says seaweed. My mother's ready to kill me. I keep telling her it's not grease, it's mousse. I tell her it's my new style. Every night I come out of the shower with a towel around my head and pretend I just washed my hair. You gotta get kicked out soon." Sunny pulled her own hair into spikes till her head resembled a medieval weapon. "See, you're not the only one. I'm working on it." "Well, you better work faster." Hillary scratched her head furiously. "I'm itching like mad. I think I already have cooties." "Come here," said Sunny. She led Hillary to her dresser. "Kneel down." The two girls knelt in front of the dresser. "Ready?" "Ready for what?" Sunny grinned faintly and opened the bottom drawer. Hillary, unaware that Sunny was holding her breath, peered into the drawer, but it was not her eyes, but what reached her nose that knocked her backwards as smartly as if she had been punched. "Ew!" she shrieked, clamping her hand over her face and gagging, scrambling to the farthest corner of the room. Sunny closed the drawer, moved away, took a small breath. "What?" gasped Hillary. "My socks. I've been wearing them for a week now. I keep them in their cage here by themselves. I moved everything else out." Hillary pinching her nose. "Oint! How can you stand it?" "I hold my breath and put on my shoes real fast." Sunny grinned as she peeked into the future. Any day now. She's thinking she's going to get kicked out. And they are very, very gross. That's so gross. So, I wonder what's going to happen in chapter 19. We'd never figured out why nobody showed up to our party, but it is getting good. So, I will see you in chapter 19. See you then.